Welcome to r/Stories About Kevin. A Kevin is someone who consistently or greatly shows a complete lack of intelligence through incompetence of social and societal norms, or is purposefully antagonistic in their poor decision making. From Sriracha Gamer 87. So I was on a video call with my longtime friend, Kevin, and I mentioned how the light bulb in my fridge had busted and I needed to buy a replacement. Kevin then mentioned that it was actually just a good thing because exposing beer to light would make it go bad faster. Thinking that he was just spoke without thinking, I said, "You do know that the light goes off when you close the fridge?" At that moment I could see a metaphorical light bulb go on. At first Kevin was unsure, but after some convincing I managed to get him to walk to his fridge and watched him slowly close the fridge and see for himself that the light turns off. This would followed for some time by him repeatedly having the fridge be nearly closed and then opening it to see the light bulb turning on. From J.K. Poom. I have two Kevin friends. They are the best friends, and when they are together they form Mega Kevin, and it is an incredibly destructive force, and together they have the power of confusing anyone. We are all in a friend group together of about 8, and we all decided to do Secret Santa. Big Kevin has never done Secret Santa before, because he never had a real friend group, so he was really excited. Small Kevin was not excited, because he does not like to put effort into things or show his friends that he cares about them, even though we know he does. I invited everyone over this Saturday to exchange gifts. Big Kevin had some questions as to how the night would proceed. Big Kevin thinks that once they walk in holding their gift, everyone will know who it's for. Small Kevin agrees. I explained that if they don't write the name of the person on their gift, then no one would know who they have. Mega Kevin is confused still. Small Kevin says that once they hand out their gifts, then everyone will know who they have. I explain that that's the point to Secret Santa. Big Kevin says, well then it's not a secret. And I have to explain that the point is you don't know who has it until you get your gift, which is the secret part. I asked Mega Kevin what a better way to go about this would be, but I was met with no response. From Booty Do I See You. At my previous job working outdoors, the head of our safety department was a Kevin. My workplace had a bit of a reputation for having somewhat of a good old boys mentality, where older men were elevated to higher positions without offering others an opportunity to interview for the open position with the reasoning, they've been here for years and we feel they'd be a good fit for this role. This particular Kevin could often be found sleeping in his office, especially on days when everyone else worked together to shovel snow, which is a safety hazard and something the head of safety should be addressing, but I'm getting off track. He lacked very basic tech skills, but would always harp on about how a lot of young people these days just aren't quite as sharp as us older folk. Yes, that was an actual quote during a company-wide training about how to manage stress. As a safety representative of my own department, I would frequently have to try and communicate with Kevin on safety-related issues. Unfortunately, his voicemail box was always full because he didn't know how to check them, and any attempt to send him an email would be met with, "I never got that," because he didn't know how to check that either. This caused me to constantly have to physically print out documents, drive all the way to the other side of the property and hand deliver them straight into his mailbox. So his lack of basic knowledge about technology was well known to me at that point, but I did not think it was this bad. One day about a year ago, he left a very long voicemail for my department about this incredible feature he'd found on the internet. If you go to Google login page, you'll see a little button that says Images. If you click on that and type in Our Workplace into the box, all kinds of pictures pop up of my department's section. I mean, there's pictures of everything here. If you scroll down the list, you can even see pictures of what the workplace was like years ago. I really think this could be a great resource if you're all looking for pictures of the department. There's some really great ones here, so I figured I'd let you know about it. My coworker and I just stared at each other, speechless, until one of them said, Did Kevin just discover Google Images? From Gulag Blyat. This is the story of my nephew's disastrous adventures, how my family demanded I cure him of stupidity, and how he was fired from each of his jobs. My family is kind of strangely staggered by age. My older brother is 37 and I'm 19. He's my only sibling, so I am by extension my nephew's only uncle. My nephew is also 19. My parents expect me to understand Kevin and to figure out what's wrong with him. Infuriatingly, they expect me to be an uncle and mentor figure to Kevin and relate to him as a teenager. For context, let's go back to his younger years. This first true act of Kevinness that my idiotic nephew was pulled into was his cyber attack on my dad's business site online. Kevin was only 14 when he did this. By cyber attack, I mean he went into my dad's website. My dad sells sports memorabilia, and posted porn in the comments section of the site. No, not just a little porn, 7,000 image comments worth using a bot he found online. When asked why, he told my dad, "All grandpas are horny, my friends at school said they are." Next was Kevin's genius 16th birthday stunt. At his party, he had a pool. He also had a garden gnome. He decided the best move for maximum coolness with his peers was to somersault off of a makeshift diving board made out of glued together 2x4s. Not only jump off the diving board, but do an acrobatic with a gnome at the same time. Kevin leapt off the diving board. Keep in mind there were 7 other people in the pool, and 3 more out of it, but nearby. As Kevin kicked off the board in reverse, plunging head and back first, he slammed his feet into the gnome, and it kicked it straight up. As Kevin crashed into the water, the spinning gnome experienced gravity. It slammed into Kevin's leg, which pulverized and put him in crutches for 3 months. He was lucky he didn't kill one of his friends with a gnome to the head. On his first day of real work this January, Kevin got an 8 on the ACT and skipped college. Kevin was working at a gas station. He decided since it was cold that day that when he showed up, his best work attire would be a heavy coat and a balaclava. That's right, he wore bank robber clothes because it was cold. They almost called the police until the inevitable, "It's me, Kevin," when he pulled the mask off. A week later, he was fired for cutting out a photo of a celebrity out of a magazine on sale in the store and masturbating with it in the bathroom of the store for 4 hours. Kevin's a big video gamer and actually has some success on Twitch playing Minecraft. He has 500 subs. Why anyone would want to watch him do anything is beyond me. He probably digs straight down and mines at night. Anyway, here's a few of his misadventures in gaming. He was caught trying to play real-life Minecraft, as he put it, for YouTube. That means going in the backyard with a pickaxe and digging holes in the lawn. He bought a jar of borscht, Russian beet soup, at a grocery store and drank it on stream while playing Counter-Strike. I don't play it, but he says it has a lot of Russians and he wanted to show Super Slav energy. Next was his attempt at taking the SAT instead of ACT. Kevin refused to study for his ACT retake and scored an 8, an improvement from a 6 on his first try. My school offered SAT for students who failed the ACT. Kevin got a 660, which he called hard work. He also was caught in the shower giving himself a vinegar enema as punishment for failing after the ACT retake when he came home from taking it. He once went to a bank with a stack of CDs because he wanted a CD, certificate of deposit. He also jumped on my brother's, his father's, knees while he was sleeping and ran out of the room. My brother woke up groaning in pain and Kevin just admitted it out of the blue. Another time, Kevin tried to ski in the house. That's right, skiing indoors. He put snow from outside on the stairs, came barreling down and slammed his face into the Christmas tree, which collapsed like his hopes of making the nice list that Christmas. The last story I can think of to post was the time he decided to do a boogeyman impersonation last weekend. I don't care that I'm a grown man, I freaked out on him over this one. Kevin jumped out of my closet at 2 a.m. during Thanksgiving this year. That's not the big deal. The big deal is that I thought I was alone in my room for 3 hours, in pitch black, before Kevin, wearing red light bulbs clipped to his glasses, leaped out of my closet shrieking like a banshee and yelling in a shrill voice, "I'm gonna eat you!" A couple of weeks ago, I bought a gun, unrelated to Kevin, and if I had been on the other side of the bed where I keep my gun, Kevin might have been a dead man. He scared me so good. Fast forward to the last 3 months, my family wants me to de-Kevinize him. I don't know where to start. This guy nearly tricked me into shooting him, and they want me to, 1, act as a mentor as his uncle, and 2, relate to him because I'm his age. This is insane. Hope you got a kick out of hearing about my idiot nephew. And that was r/Storiesaboutkevin. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Reddit content.